What the heck is up, you guys? It's your boy Ace, aka Animated Heroes, here, back with another action figure review. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the SH Figuarts Bleach Ichigo Kurosaki Getsugatensho. I think I said that right. If I didn't, I already know somebody about to be down in the comment section correcting me. But who really cares? It's the next figure in the Bleach line, and so far, the last one that we've heard anything about. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started, diving right into that sexy packaging. Now for the box, it's pretty much what we've been getting used to when it comes to this line. Very minimal differences to all of the other packaging. As you guys can see, we got the window where you can see the figure looking really dope, as well as some of the accessories. It does say Ichigo Kurosaki in the bottom left, Studio Period, which is the studio that actually produces Bleach, the anime itself. It does say Bleach, Tamashii Nations, Bandai, and then of course on the side and back, you do have some images of the figure all posed up looking nice, showing off some of those accessories. So, very, very good looking package, but nothing spectacular. Let's go ahead and bust this guy out so we can see what this figure's all about. Now, if you guys have watched any of my Bleach reviews, then you'll know I'm one of the people who have been advocating for how good this line is for quite a while now. I know there are some things people don't like about these figures. They don't like the pants. They hate that they're sculpted. But I'm gonna be honest with you guys, man. I've always enjoyed sculpted clothing more than what we get with soft goods, which is what we were getting from Dawson Model, man. I like soft good capes. I don't like soft good clothing. So these are always going to be better in my personal opinion. Now, I normally don't keep these in my collection, but I did love this one, the Dual Zangetsu Ichigo, so much. I decided to keep him. That is my only Bleach figure, so don't expect any size comparisons a little bit later, but we'll talk about that once we get to the size comparisons. Onto this figure here, man. It's pretty much the same thing we've gotten from this line so far, with a few differences. Sculpt-wise and everything, they always turn out to be great, in my opinion. I do think the shading in the hair is a little bit excessive. I don't care about it too much, but I do think the face and all the details are painted on very nicely. As you can see, he comes right out of the packaging with not necessarily a frowning expression, more of a teeth gritted angry expression. Now, I do know this is Ichigo from a particular battle with someone, but I don't know who. Y'all can tell me in the comments. But yeah, man, whole lot of sculpted wrinkles and detail in the upper half. Now moving down to the lower half, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, this is what I don't like, man. We got a whole lot going on down here with all these pieces that are meant to articulate, and that's cool, but I do think the sculpt work and everything that was done and how they went about modifying this plastic for it to work, I don't like this, man. This seems very, very, very over-engineered in my personal opinion. It's giving Revoltech with a softer plastic. So yeah, not feeling that. The pants, same thing we've gotten before, man. I still love the pants. I still love the shoes and everything, or the sandals and everything as well. But yeah, man, not a fan of this flowy jacket type piece here. And actually, I'm gonna zoom out to show it to you guys a little bit better, man. It's just, this has way too much going on. Way too much for me. I'm not a fan of this at all. So sorry, if you like this, then that's cool, but I'm just not feeling it. Now, when it comes to the height on this guy, he's about the same height as the old average SH Figuarts. And notice I say old. You'll see why once we get to the size comparisons. But to the top of his head, he stands right at about 6¼ inches, right under 6½. So again, this was pretty standard for Tamashii Nations, except for certain lines. And we'll get to that a little bit later. Now, when it comes to the articulation on these figures, they're usually pretty good. Obviously, there's going to be some setbacks in particular areas, but it's the same ones you would expect it. He looks up about that much, not very far because the hair is going to touch the back of the neck. He looks down better than I would have expected, but just know that if you try to push it any further than that, you're going to get that gapping in the head from the faceplate and the hair, and then it will eventually pop off. So you're not going to want to move it anymore. He does get really good tilt and turn, so that's good. Arms are freaking crazy, man. This is definitely the best thing about the figure because they go all the way up. That is sick. When it comes to bringing them inward for those sword swinging poses, the butterfly joints work very well. So you're not going to have any issues getting this guy posed up swinging his blade. When it comes to the arm, bicep swivel works very well. Double jointed elbows that come all the way in. So that's nicely. You combine that with the bicep and you're getting some really good range. The hands do move around freely. A little bit of hindrance just because of the sleeve, but that's to be expected. At the diaphragm, he leans back about that much, not a whole lot. Forward about that much. A little bit better, still not much. Really good rocker and mobility. If you use the waist, it doesn't really change much, so it's kind of pointless. It doesn't change much going back either, so that does suck. I definitely wish there was a little bit more range at the mid torso. Now, when it comes to the legs, I know people hate these designs, but they work, man. He kicks all the way forward. He kicks all the way out, and Ichigo doesn't even kick, man, so this is good. Then he even kicks back, so like it doesn't get any better. He does have a thigh swivel, single jointed knee, very good range in that, man, and the sculpt work is done so well that when you bend the knee all the way, you don't have these weird chunks or weird sculpted plastic showing. It still looks flush enough. Obviously they can't do everything perfectly, but I still think this looks fine. Foot goes down about that much, up about that much. Really good ankle rocker, and then he does have a toe hinge. So articulation wise, for the most part, I dig it all except for this Dracula cape piece right here, man. Now I know some people might like this, and certain figures I do enjoy it with. This guy, not so much, just because it's so many. If there's one or two hinges, I'm usually okay with that. But if you look at this right here, this is definitely giving old school 1.0 Revoltech Batman. If you guys know what I'm talking about, then you know. I'll show an image on screen. But yeah, this is just too much for me. And then when you have it sitting flush, a lot of times it doesn't look good. It tends to stick out, and all these cuts and just breaks in the sculpt, they don't look that great. So again, that's my personal opinion. You guys can tell me how you feel about that, but that's the one thing I just really dislike about this figure. Now, when it comes to accessories, you don't really get anything out of the ordinary. For the most part, you get the same thing you get with most Bleach figures, except this time around, they did throw in one really nice addition. Now, he does come right out of the packaging with this angry looking facial expression and a pair of fist hands. He does come with this really dope faceplate that has blood on it. As you can see, he's looking to the side, and we know Tamashii Nations normally doesn't do blood, so I think they just knew this is a very iconic scene, so they decided to throw it in, which is cool. Hopefully we get more things like this with other figures, especially like Demon Slayer. Now, he does come with two hollow mask faces as well. Yes, I know what it is. He comes with this full hollow mask, which I dig, and then he does come with one where it's kind of covering about I don't know, a third of his face. This is really freaking cool, man. He's got the band-aid on too. I just realized that. I don't remember this, but I do remember it at the same time. Again, someone tell me who he was fighting at the time. I feel like I might have seen this and I just forgot. But yeah, super dope. He does come with several sets of hands. He comes with a pair of weapon holding hands. He comes with a pair of stylish gripping hands, even though he doesn't come with any extra weapons to grip. And then he does come with a pair of kind of relaxed hands. He does come with his Bankai, which looks good this time around. The chain is just a plastic piece. I believe on the previous figure it just kind of hung loose, so this is cool, honestly, because it's not going to get in the way whenever you're posing him, so I dig that. Now, he does come with a really dope slashing accessory. First off, here is the stand for that. As you can see, you just plug this thing right here into the base, and then the slashing effect is right here. It's super dope, man. I dig this a whole lot, and basically all you do is you plug it right in there, and then there you go. So really sick. I dig this a whole lot. Not gonna mess with this too much because I don't want to break it on camera, but yeah, man, Really, really good accessories. I think he could have used maybe one or two more face plates, maybe an extra set of hands. But for the most part, I think you get everything that you need. If you guys can think of something that should have been added, just let me know. And in case any of you were wondering, you can swap the face plates between figures. So you can use the old Ichigo heads on this new body and these new heads on the old bodies. Moving on to size comparisons, here he is standing next to some Shonen Jump protagonists. First off, we have the GOAT himself, the SH Figuarts lowest born Saiyan Goku. We've also got him standing next to the SH Figuarts Naruto Top 99 Naruto Uzumaki. And then last but not least, we've got him standing next to an SH Figuarts One Piece Wano Arc Monkey D. Luffy. And now moving on to some of Tamashii Nation's recent releases that are a bit more scaled up. Hence why I said earlier in the video, they changed the scaling for a lot of their lines. We've got them standing next to the SH Figuarts My Hero Academia Deku, the SH Figuarts Demon Slayer Tanjiro Kamado, and then the SH Figuarts Yu Yu Hakusho Yusuke Urameshi. And as you can see, standing next to all these figures, he doesn't look like he's the scale he is supposed to be, unlike when he was standing next to Naruto, Luffy, and even Goku, man. Deku and Tanjiro are a little too big. Yusuke, maybe just a tad. Now lastly, for some random extras, here he is standing next to a Hasbro Maximum Spider-Man, which is my favorite Spider-Man figure of all time. We've also got him standing next to a Metacom toy or Mafex comic book Daredevil, and a in art 1/12 scale The Dark Knight Batman. All right, y'all, due to the fact that I am running a little bit low on time, I'm not going to have any extra posing at the end of the video while I give my final thoughts. But of course, I will be adding that in during my very next review, so you can expect to see those poses again. And when it comes to my actual final thoughts on this figure, I'm just going to be real with you guys. This is definitely my least favorite figure out of the Bleach line. Now, I love the accessories that he comes with. The hollow masks and everything look really good. The neutral faces look really good. The body, for the most part, looks amazing, but I can't brag on that too much because it's kind of what we're used to. What bugs me to the point to where I really just don't enjoy this figure is the over design of the lower jacket piece, man. I don't like all that extra added plastic that they threw in for articulation purposes. I just feel like it wasn't done well enough to justify it. It just doesn't look good in my personal opinion, especially if you've got this guy in a neutral pose, and I don't like all the broken up sculpts. That's usually why I don't keep a lot of Rebel Tech figures that have a bunch of over engineering. It's just too much and it looks very blocky and gappy. I just personally don't enjoy it. So yeah, I don't particularly care for this figure that much. I do think it's good. I don't think that it's great. If I want to pose an Ichigo figure, I will get much more enjoyment out of posing any of the other Ichigo figures that I've gotten my hands on outside of this one. So yeah, that's my final thoughts. I don't know how you guys are going to feel about that, because I've heard a lot of people saying this is the best Ichigo. And if that's how you feel, then there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. This is my review. This is my opinion. So yeah, now overall, I hope that you guys enjoyed this review. If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. That always helps me out. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure you hit that bell icon so you're notified whenever I upload new content. And last but not least, follow me on everything you see listed in the description below to keep up with my activity outside of YouTube. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Stay safe wherever you are, and bye.